Have you ever looked at your skin in the mirror and asked yourself, why is it changing so quickly? If you've ever thought that skin after 60 could never recover, then tip number 6 in today's video will make you smile. We used to pay little attention to our skin until it became dry, fragile, and lost its youthful elasticity. And then one day, you touch your arm and realize your skin now feels like the last leaf of autumn, needing to be cherished more than ever. After 60, our oil glands slow down, collagen declines, and the skin becomes more prone to dryness and fatigue. Old habits no longer serve us, and that's exactly what causes our skin to quietly deteriorate over time. Many seniors experience itching, cracked skin, or even chronic dermatitis, all because of missing one simple daily step. No expensive cosmetics needed. Sometimes, a tiny shift in habit is enough to save the skin from long-term damage. In today's video, you'll discover 7 gentle yet incredibly effective benefits, not only helping your skin become healthier, but also bringing more comfort to your daily life. And the 6th benefit, though simple, is something many people skip, even though it can prevent one of the most serious skin diseases in old age. If you're over 60 and have ever felt confused about your increasingly fragile skin, drop a 1 in the comments below. And if this message feels like a quiet whisper meant just for you, don't forget to click subscribe so we at Senior Compass can walk with you on this gentle journey of self-care. Moisturizing. A gentle key for dry, itchy skin. As we enter our 60s, many begin to notice that their skin no longer feels as smooth as it once did. Patches of dryness and itchiness start to appear, on the arms, the lower legs, or the back, quietly, yet persistently. It's easy to ignore, until you find yourself scratching in the middle of the night, too itchy to sleep. The reason isn't far-fetched. As we age, the sebaceous glands reduce their activity, causing the skin to lose its natural oil barrier that helps retain moisture. The protective layer of the skin becomes fragile, letting water escape more easily, leaving behind a feeling of tightness or mild burning, especially after a hot shower. When we were younger, many could skip moisturizing and still feel fine. But after 60, the body is no longer as forgiving. One missed night of applying lotion can lead to a sleepless night. 1 week without moisturizing could turn into a season of cracked, painful skin. I still remember Judith, 67 years old, living in the dry northern region, who once said that winter felt like torture to her. "Every night my skin felt like cracked desert ground," she laughed. After a doctor advised her to apply moisturizer within 3 minutes of showering, switch to unscented body wash, and use warm water instead of hot, she began to sleep soundly again. Just a small change, and the itchiness and tightness faded away. She said, "It's like my skin could finally breathe." The truth is, dry skin isn't just a surface issue. It affects our emotions, making us uncomfortable, sleepless, and even self-conscious in social settings. For older adults, that discomfort can bring down our spirits even more. So if you've ever found yourself absent-mindedly scratching your arms at night or feeling like your skin no longer feels like your own, it might be time to spend just 1 extra minute each day gently applying lotion to yourself. Because moisturizing is not just about keeping skin hydrated, it's a quiet way of telling your body, "I'm still taking care of you, even after all these years we've been through together. But I don't go out in the sun anymore." Why sun protection still matters. After 60, you might think, "I don't spend much time in the sun anymore." But the sun doesn't care how old you are. Even the gentle morning light, through a window or just a few minutes walking in the garden, UV rays silently slip in and damage skin that's already grown fragile with age. After 60, our skin becomes thinner, melanin production decreases, and its natural ability to defend against sunlight is greatly reduced. And the consequences aren't just dark spots, age spots, or wrinkles. For seniors, long-term unprotected sun exposure can lead to actinic keratosis, a potential precursor to skin cancer. When you were younger, you could bask in the sun for hours and feel fine. But at this age, just a few minutes without sunscreen might leave behind sunspots that last for a year. I remember Mr. High, a retired farmer at 70, once told me, "Back when I was working in the fields all day, I never thought of using sunscreen. But now, even sitting outside in the morning sun for a bit makes my skin sting." After his daughter brought him a bottle of broad-spectrum SPF 50, he started applying it each morning. Gradually, the red, rough patches on his neck and arms began to soothe. He smiled and said, "Now I understand. Our skin needs protection, just like our heart does." Truly, sun protection isn't just about appearance. It's about preserving dignity and preventing unwanted complications in our later years. Healthy skin allows us to keep walking, visiting grandchildren, gardening, without silently suffering from sun-induced wounds. So if you're reading this by a sunny window, I just want you to know, a thin layer of sunscreen each morning, a wide-brimmed hat when going out. These are gentle ways to give yourself the protection no one else can give for you. Sun protection is not about clinging to youth. It's about honoring the piece of the skin that has walked this whole journey with you. Humidity, the invisible friend in your aging home. Have you ever woken up feeling like your face was stretched tight like dry paper, your lips slightly cracked, and your arms stinging for no clear reason? It might not be that you forgot to moisturize. Maybe the air around you has silently stolen the moisture from your skin. After 60, not only does the skin lose water more easily, but its ability to retain moisture also drops significantly. If you live in air-conditioned environments or places with dry climates, your skin will be the first to suffer. Especially in winter, or when heaters and AC units run constantly, indoor humidity can drop below 40%, making skin prone to cracks, flaking, and lingering itchiness. When you were younger, dry air may not have bothered you at all, but after 60, sleeping in dry air can feel like sleeping against sandpaper. Your skin loses sleep too. I once met Ms. Hoa, 65 years old, living on the 12th floor of an apartment building in the middle of the city. She often experienced itchy skin, applied medicated creams regularly, but saw little improvement. One day her son brought home a small humidifier. Not expensive, not noisy, just quietly doing its job. She told me, "After a week, my skin didn't sting in the morning anymore, and even my eyes felt less dry." Since then, that little machine has become her quiet companion in the bedroom. Keeping indoor humidity between 45% and 60% doesn't just benefit your skin. It supports sleep, eases breathing, and reduces nasal irritation. For older adults, this is one of the gentlest ways to support overall health, without any medicine. If you're living in a closed room or under constant air conditioning, try to notice, is your skin silently crying for help? If it is, a small humidifier, or even a simple bowl of water in the room, could bring a gentle yet noticeable difference. Because sometimes, what your skin needs most isn't another layer of cream, but a space that preserves its quiet moisture. Fragrance-free, a quiet kindness for sensitive skin. We used to love scents: lavender-scented body wash, rose-scented lotion, even shampoos that left a lingering fragrance all day. But then one day, you apply that familiar lotion and your skin itches. You shower with your usual soap, and your skin breaks out, reddens, or feels oddly irritated. After 60, our skin becomes more sensitive than ever. Synthetic fragrances, once symbols of freshness and cleanliness, can now become irritants. Many skincare products, even those labeled for seniors, still contain fragrances, parabens, or harsh preservatives that quietly add another layer of invisible damage to aging skin. In our youth, we confidently picked up anything from the shelf without a second thought. But aging is the time to be more selective. Our bodies have endured enough stimulation. Now it's time for true gentleness. I remember Linda, 68, a former scent lover. Her bathroom was always filled with bottles of sweet-smelling creams and soaps. But after experiencing a mild rash on her arm, she decided to try a fragrance-free life. Every product was replaced with gentle, unscented alternatives. "At first, I felt like something was missing," she said. "But then, as my skin calmed, I realized even silence has its own soothing scent." Since then, Linda's skin didn't just stop itching, it became more even-toned, softer. She said, "I don't need scent to feel clean. I need comfort." Seniors often feel more emotionally attuned, and sometimes the subtle gentleness of an unscented product can speak louder to the soul than any fragrance. It doesn't intrude, doesn't overwhelm. It simply stays, quietly caring. If you've ever felt confused among shelves of skincare products with endless promises, try simplifying it down to just 3 words: fragrance-free. You might no longer carry the scent of freshness, but your skin will breathe freely and feel respected, because sometimes what has no scent is what the skin needs most to feel truly loved. Gloves, a gentle armor for gardening and household tasks. If you love plants, enjoy cooking, or simply keep the habit of doing dishes or laundry by hand, then you've probably let your skin come into contact with detergents, soil, or even harsh midday sunlight without much thought. After 60, skin becomes thinner, less oily, and much more vulnerable than it was in your youth. Tasks that used to be nothing can now leave scratches, redness, or rough patches on the back of your hands, an area often left exposed. Years ago, you could work around the house barehanded all day without noticing a thing. But now, even a few minutes of soaking in dish soap can leave your hands stinging, dry, or cracked. Chemicals that once seemed harmless can leave visible marks when the body grows more sensitive with age. I once met Mr. Paul, 73, who loved gardening, in his backyard every morning. He was proud of his little garden, but often had dry, cracked fingers and had to use Band-Aids constantly. It wasn't until his meticulous wife bought him a pair of soft, breathable gardening gloves that he agreed to try them, and within a few weeks, the tiny cracks disappeared. He said, "I thought my hands were just aging. Turns out, I simply wasn't protecting them." Indeed, wearing gloves isn't just about avoiding cuts or sun. It's a quiet act of respect for the hands that have worked hard all their life. Wrinkled, veined hands, they deserve to be treated with tenderness. If you're still washing dishes, sweeping floors, or mowing the lawn with bare hands, try changing it up. A soft pair of gloves, a new habit, could be the gift you give yourself, because skincare doesn't always mean something complicated. Sometimes it's just learning to protect the parts of yourself that have stood by you for decades. Skin checkups. Quietly preventing. Skin cancer, some skin changes are subtle. A new mole, a darker patch of skin, or a small sore that won't heal. They could be nothing. But sometimes they are early signs of something no one wants to face. Skin cancer. After 60, the risk of skin cancer rises. Not because we're out in the sun as much, but because decades of sun exposure are only now revealing their effects. Our skin has memory. It remembers every sunburn, every forgotten sunscreen, even from 30 years ago. When we were young, we all thought, "It'll be fine." But time spares no one. Many discover illness too late, thinking, "It's just a small spot," or "It's probably age-related." This thinking delays diagnosis, and with skin cancer, timing matters. Judith, 70, once told me about a dark mole that appeared on her lower leg, a spot she rarely checked. Thanks to her daughter's insistence, she visited a dermatologist. The doctor identified it as a precancerous lesion. Fortunately, early detection allowed for a simple minor procedure, and that was the end of it. Afterward, she told me something I've never forgotten. I'm not afraid of dying. I'm afraid of missing peaceful years just because I was careless. Just one annual skin check with a dermatologist can be your first step in protecting yourself. The doctor will examine areas we tend to overlook: our backs, necks, between toes, or even the scalp. Skin checkups aren't acts of fear. They're acts of self-love. Just like getting your eyes checked or measuring your blood pressure, they're part of living well and living intentionally after 60. If you've made it this far and suddenly remembered a mole or a patch of darkened skin you've never had examined, consider this your gentle sign from the universe. A short appointment might be the biggest gift you give yourself, because nothing is more precious than peace, especially when it begins with listening to the quiet signals from your skin. Seeing a dermatologist, when you need someone who truly understands aging skin, there's a quiet truth few talk about. The older we get, the more reluctant we become to see a doctor. Not because we're lazy, because we've grown used to it, used to enduring, used to thinking, my skin is like this because I'm just getting old. But sometimes what we think is normal is actually the body's silent cry for help. After 60, the skin doesn't just change on the surface. It may reflect deeper changes within: hormonal shifts, immune responses, even circulation issues. And sometimes no amount of self-research can connect all these pieces into a clear picture. You might be using the right moisturizer, applying sunscreen daily, staying hydrated. But if one patch of skin keeps itching, or a rough area doesn't go away, maybe it's time to let someone with deeper knowledge take a closer look. Mr. Shaw, a 72-year-old retired mechanic, once told me he thought he had contact dermatitis from his old wristwatch. But the rash never healed. It even spread. When his daughter finally took him to a dermatologist, it turned out to be chronic eczema, requiring specific medicated treatment. Within a few weeks, the redness almost disappeared. He said, "I didn't expect one appointment to bring me such peace of mind." A dermatologist doesn't just prescribe, they help you understand what your skin is trying to say. They see what the naked eye can't. They hear the whisper behind every crack, every rash, every tiny shift you've learned to ignore. And more importantly, they don't judge. They know that aging skin is natural. They're here to walk beside you, not to point out flaws. If you've been caring for your skin diligently but still feel uneasy about something, don't hesitate to book an appointment. Don't be afraid to open up. Because loving yourself isn't always about doing it all on your own. It's knowing when to ask for help. Let your dermatologist be the one who listens to your skin, so you can keep listening to the more beautiful parts of life. You've just walked through 7 gentle doors, each one a small habit, yet each holding great power to preserve and honor your aging skin. Perhaps what stays with you most is the advice to moisturize right after a shower, or something as simple as applying sunscreen each morning. Because sometimes the things we overlook for being too simple are exactly what lighten the body and quiet the soul, day by day. Skin after 60 isn't getting weaker. It's speaking louder, asking to be heard, to be loved in a new way. Gently, completely, and patiently. Neglecting care doesn't just age the skin. It distances you from your body a little more each day. But here's the good news. You don't have to change your whole life. Just begin with one small thing, like putting on lotion, wearing gloves while gardening, or scheduling an annual skin checkup. It's never too late to begin again. And your skin knows this. It waits for you, patiently, wholeheartedly. You've lived long enough to understand. There is no treasure greater than the feeling of being at home in a body that is honored. You don't need to be perfect. Just be gentle with yourself, a little more each day, because you deserve to live with clarity, with health, with peace. Tonight, maybe try one small change. Maybe place a humidifier next to your bed. Maybe set aside that scented body wash. Or maybe just apply lotion in silence, with care. And if these words touched something in you, click subscribe to the Senior Compass channel. So each week, we can quietly share more kindness with you. You can share in the comments, which change will you try first? Moisturizing? A skin check? Or letting go of that familiar fragrance? We read every comment, and we create these videos not to preach, but to walk beside you, because beauty isn't in age. It's in the way you gently cherish yourself. Each day, with a heart still warm and a life rich with experience, wishing you a peaceful evening, a restful sleep, and a skin that smiles back when you touch it with all the love you have inside.